A crazy fact is that nearly half of dating app users are either married or in relationships. And having personally used dating apps before, I have found this to be true on numerous occasions. Because of this, inevitably, I've become quite astute at identifying if a person is secretly married, which is why I've made this video to share what I've learned. So here we go. 7 signs the person you are dating is secretly married. You permanently seem like a breath of fresh air to them. Something I've noticed as a consistent behavior of a person who is secretly married is that they frequently tell the person they are cheating with that they are like a breath of fresh air. So they are constantly saying things along the lines of, being with you is like a breath of fresh air. For example, one woman I dated who was secretly married was forever saying this, and she said it especially at times when I had just listened to her have a rant about work. It's such a relief to be able to get this off my chest. She would endlessly say to me, I swear you are like a breath of fresh air. But I wasn't. It just felt like I was to her, and it makes perfect sense why. I was doing something that her husband had literally just failed to do, which gave me a massive advantage. This is because what she was actually saying to me was, my husband never listens to me and I've just come from him and he didn't listen again, but here you are listening. It's such a breath of fresh air. It's a bit like that person who's had a rough day at work. They come home, sit in the chair, and everything feels better. I'm sure everyone knows the feeling, and someone cheating tends to get that feeling when they are with the person they are doing the cheating with. This is why if you start dating somebody and they frequently keep saying to you that you are like a breath of fresh air, it may be wise to raise your suspicions and ask yourself, just who are they comparing you to? They prefer meeting in non-public places, and even when you do meet in public places, they are always on edge but also often excitable. When you are cheating, the last thing you want is a person you know seeing you with the person you're cheating with, which inevitably makes public places a permanent danger zone. For example, one person I was seeing who was secretly married not only always acted on edge and extra vigilant whenever we were in public, she also forever seemed to be extra excitable. That means she was especially naughty and horny when in public, despite her seeming aversion to it. It was a weird mix. I mean, normally if someone doesn't like public places and prefers to be out of them, there would be no hint of excitability when they were in them, least of all of the sexual kind. But with her, there near enough always was, and this of course was a giant red flag for her married status. In a way, it's a bit like a spy. When a spy is undercover, everyone is a danger, and inevitably that makes it super exciting. People who cheat tend to get a similar kind of kick, especially when in public. This is why if ever the person you are dating prefers quiet venues and always seems especially edgy but also especially sexually excitable when you are at these venues, it might be wise to start asking some questions. Their bedroom is always absolutely spotless. Everybody's bedroom is always spotless when they first bring someone over for sex, or at least most people's are. But when it comes to people who are secretly married, the bedroom is often spotless long after the first time, which is not normal. For example, every married woman I've ever dated has always had a spotless bedroom. In fact, in truth, in most cases, the rooms felt completely unlived in, and this is common for secretly married people. There are 2 reasons why. The first is married people, when bringing a person over that they are cheating with, typically go out of their way to hide every single trace of their spouse from the bedroom and the home, hence how clean and unlived in everywhere looks. The second reason is that married people often, to avoid being caught, use a different home for their secret liaisons, often a friend's spare bedroom, hence again how clean and unlived in the bedroom especially often looks. What this means is, if the person you are dating is forever bringing you to a house and especially a bedroom that always looks especially clean, it may be wise to ask yourself, are they just a clean freak, or is something else going on? You can do no wrong, and even when you do, they make it up to you. This is a screaming red flag. Nobody is perfect, and yet guilt has a tendency to make a person treat someone perfect. For example, one married woman I was seeing, I especially could do no wrong with. For example, if I was late, it was not a problem. If I had to cancel last minute again, it was not a problem. And this counted for even the times when she had put in much effort. In fact, the amount of effort she would put in at times for me was ridiculous. ridiculous, and I mean ridiculous. At first, I thought it must just be because she really liked me and that she was just one of those people who like to put that extra bit of effort in for the person they like. But no, it was actually a sign of her guilt. She felt guilty over deceiving me and so was forever in her I need to make it up for him mode. This is why if ever you are dating someone and not only does it seem like you can do no wrong, it feels like they are forever trying to make something up to you, it may be wise to ask them why they feel they have to be this way. They are always apologizing to you and constantly canceling on you. This is a bit of a reverse of the last one and is an obvious one. If the person you are dating is forever canceling on you and yet you are certain that they do like you, what you have before you is a giant red flag for a secretly married person. For example, a friend of mine dated a secretly married woman once, and he told me that she apologized to him more times in the few months he was seeing her than any woman in his life ever had combined. In fact, he told me frequently he kept telling her that she didn't need to keep apologizing so much, yet it made no difference, from profusely apologetic text messages after cancelling to almost groveling verbal apologies the next time they met. My friend told me that dating her was nothing more than an endless stream of constant reminders from her over how sorry she was about cancelling on him so much. This is why if the person you are dating is always cancelling and then entering and staying in super apology mode, it may be wise to look a lot more into the real reason why they are cancelling so much. They have kids but rarely talk about them. I have dated people with kids before, and there is one common trend I have always noticed. The women who want a relationship talk about their kids a lot, and I mean a lot. But then of course they do. When you date a woman who has children, or a man for that matter, they come as a package deal, so why wouldn't they talk about them? Of course they're going to, unless of course they are secretly married. You see, for a secretly married person, the affair is often their way of escaping the humdrum of marriage and kids, which means inevitably talking about them is far from their minds. Not just that, often they have a deep-rooted fear that they are putting their children at risk by having the affair, mainly because the affair could cause the breakdown of the marriage. In this case, thinking about them floods them with guilt, and I witnessed this happen in real life. She had 4 children, yet I never knew anything about them, barely even their ages. Why? Because she always seemed to be flooded with guilt whenever she mentioned them, and so always quickly changed the subject. This is why if ever you are dating someone who has children and yet they don't often talk about those children, and even more so when they do, they seem to be flooded with guilt, it may be wise to investigate just why they are acting this way. They have the power to make you believe anything. A female friend of mine who was a big cheat literally had a butter wouldn't melt persona, and it was so powerful nobody would ever believe she was a cheat, even if they witnessed her doing so with their own eyes or were presented with resounding evidence. Yep, I'm not joking about this. I could have told her friends and family everything, and I mean everything, that she had ever told me about her extramarital escapades. I could have provided picture evidence, video evidence, you name it, and yet still everyone would have thought I was the one lying. And this is because she had sold her butter wouldn't melt persona so well it was virtually insurmountable, and it makes perfect sense why. Cheats get to practice lying a lot, and this is often where the true proof of a cheat lies. You see, nobody can get that good at lying and selling different personas and excuses other than someone doing it a lot. That means the ability a person has to be so believable you would never believe that they would do something often gives away the truth, and it does it for the simple reason that it shows they have an ability that they could have only gained through repeated deception. Allow me to explain that a little bit further. We are all vulnerable to succumbing to temptation, and all of us have dark sides. It's just the way of life. It's fine. It's not even a big deal, which is why the truly honest people don't hide these truths. And this is the important factor. The honest people don't hide these truths, which means the honest people don't hide their weaknesses. The deceptive ones, on the other hand, do, which is why you can never see their weaknesses, and they seem to be so invincible in certain areas like being faithful. So if a person truly seems to be too good to be true, and even more so, you find yourself forever buying every excuse they sell because of their image, it's almost a guarantee that they are secretly married, or if they are not, they will cheat on you if you do get married. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this and want to see more videos like it, remember to give it a like and subscribe to my channel, because the more who do so, the more of these videos I can make. Is that a good bribe? I hope it is. I'll see you next time.